Right now, somewhere near a forest, a deer is standing perfectly still, watching you. It's beautiful. It's graceful. It looks almost tame. You could probably walk a little closer, but the second you take one more step, it's gone. Not walking away. Gone. Vertical leap, full sprint, vanished into the trees in under 2 seconds. Here's the strange part. 10,000 years ago, humans looked at an animal a lot like this one, and a few miles away, they looked at a wild cow. Both were terrified of people. Both would have gored you if cornered, and yet one of them became the cow standing in a field today, chewing grass, completely unbothered by your presence. The other one is still bolting through the woods the moment you breathe wrong. Why did one give in, and the other never did? Most people assume it's just about size or temper or how dangerous the animal is. That's not it. Scientists have actually pinned this down to a short list of hidden rules. Biologist Jared Diamond laid them out clearly, and deer break almost every single one. The answer isn't really about deer at all. It's about what it takes to break a wild animal's will. And by the end of this, you'll never look at a cow, a dog, or a horse the same way again. So let's start with the obvious guess. Size and danger. You'd think we tamed cows because they're gentle giants and skipped deer because they're skittish little sprinters. But that's backwards. A wild bull was a monster. It could kill a man with one hit. Early cattle, called aurochs, stood taller than a person at the shoulder and were aggressive enough that ancient hunters painted them on cave walls like gods of death. So size and danger were never the deal breaker. Then what was? Here's what's fascinating. It comes down to something called flight distance. Every wild animal has an invisible bubble around it. Step inside that bubble and its brain flips a switch. Fight becomes irrelevant. Only one option exists: run. For a cow's wild ancestor, that bubble was small. You could get fairly close before the switch flipped. For a deer, that bubble is enormous. Deer can detect the flick of a human eyelid at a distance most animals wouldn't even register as a threat. Imagine you're a farmer 6,000 years ago, trying to raise deer instead of cattle. Every single day, every fence check, every feeding, every glance in the wrong direction triggers full panic. The deer slams into the enclosure, it breaks a leg, it dies of pure stress with no injury anywhere on its body. That actually happens. It's called capture myopathy. A deer can be caught completely unharmed and still drop dead a few hours later, just from fear. You can't domesticate an animal that can die from being looked at wrong. But that's only half the story. Diet matters too, and it's not just about what an animal eats, it's about how efficiently it turns food into something useful for a human to raise in one place. Cows are grazers. Grass grows in a field. You keep the cow in the field. Simple loop. Deer are browsers. In the wild, they need constant variety. Tender shoots in spring, acorns in fall, bark in winter, dozens of different plants rotating through the seasons. You can't fence that kind of diet into one paddock. A deer in a small enclosure, eating the same food every day, can actually get sick and die from the wrong diet, even with a full stomach. So while a farmer could feed 100 cows with one field of grass, feeding deer the same way was basically impossible. And it might be the strangest part of all. Cows have something deer completely lack: a social hierarchy that humans can hijack. Wild cattle live in herds with a clear leader. Whoever the strongest animal is, the rest follow. Humans figured out something clever thousands of years ago. If you can convince the herd that you are the leader, they'll follow you too. That's the entire secret behind herding. It's not really control, it's impersonation. Deer don't work that way. They don't organize around a single dominant leader the same way cattle or horses or sheep do. There's no leadership position for a human to sneak into, no social slot to fill. You can't fake your way into a deer's trust because there was never a structure built for trust in the first place. So what killed deer's chances for good? Breeding. This is the one that sealed it completely. Wild cattle would breed almost anywhere. In front of anyone, in a pen, in a field, didn't matter. Deer need space. They need privacy. They need to feel completely safe before they'll breed at all. Put them under the stress of captivity, fences, and human presence, and their bodies simply refuse to reproduce. An animal that won't breed in captivity can never become a domestic species. You'd need to keep capturing wild ones forever. That's not a farm, that's just repeated kidnapping. So line them all up. Cows check every box. Efficient grazers, fast growth, social hierarchy humans could hijack, calm enough temperament, and a willingness to breed anywhere. Deer fail almost every single one. Nervous system tuned for instant flight. A diet that resists confinement. No leadership structure to exploit. And reproduction that shuts down the moment they're stressed. It's not that humans never tried. Reindeer are actually the closest thing to a domesticated deer on Earth, herded for thousands of years in the Arctic. But even reindeer aren't fully tame the way a cow is. Herders don't control them so much as follow them, moving with the herd across the tundra instead of fencing it into a field. Out of dozens of large mammal species humans have tried to tame throughout history, only a small handful ever actually succeeded. The rest, deer included, said no. And here's the part that should actually unsettle you a little. That same flight response, the same instinct that made deer impossible to domesticate, still exists in you. Underneath every calm decision you make, there's an ancient switch. The one that decides in half a second whether you fight or whether you run. It's the same wiring, inherited from the same terrified prey animals your ancestors hunted and feared. 10,000 years ago, we didn't just choose which animals to tame, we chose which ones were willing to give up that switch, to trade the wild, panicked freedom of the forest for the safety and the control of the fence. Cows made that trade, dogs made that trade, horses made that trade. Deer never did. And somewhere right now, one is standing in the trees, watching you, refusing,